Hello, people. So, today I will just speak what's on my mind, and that's it. So, the return, or rather, the fracture of memory. The fracture of memory happened, basically, you could say, since the beginning of time, and it is stretched into the field. But all of this is drifted too far, but it is still a part of a cycle within cycles within cycles. But the point is that it drifted for now way too far, because word became dead law, and thought became truth, or what is then what was told and showcased in a box or a television was the truth for people's mind. And now you have even boxes in your hand that you upload your mind into, but it also reflects what is in people's minds, and there is nothing but false personas which upload themselves in a box, and everybody try to mirror what they see in this box. So it came to a point where breath and soul are basically extracted from the vessel in general. And this is what I mean with drifted too far, because the memory of what we really are forgot what it really is. But it's, like I said, it's still all part of a much bigger cycle within cycles. And the inversion of it is actually quite simple if you think about it, because if a will enters, you breathe it in, you filter it, and then you act. But it is the reverse now. It started like how I said, but now it is breath replaced money. Will is literally none, except to get that breath, and you only act to breathe. You don't breathe, discern, and act. You act, you don't even know why. You suffer, your soul suffers, and you just chase and chase breath, which got replaced with money. Like I said, it's not to say, oh, it's all bad. It's still part of a bigger unfolding, but if you calibrate yourself and reverse what is programmed into your mind and reverse it, and then breathe from I would call it the original fold and original memory, you breathe into that field again and seal the wound which unfolded, basically. So you cannot remember if you didn't forget first. So if you forget what you are and act in inversion, this is what unfolds, because what is in you unfolds and cycles within time. So if you act from the reverse, like I said, you end up where you end up where you are now. And this traces back to Rome, to Greece, like I said, where word and law and was doctrined into form and worship. And then that worship just led to where we are now. And I mean, nothing is really new under the sun, because there were also inventions from other tribes which you don't know about. I mean, you just, like I said, thought became truth. So what you became fed on the TV became your perception of the truth that you believe it is. That million years ago was this, and this was the truth, and the future then unfolds from how you act now. But if you act from inversion now, the future will be that there is no soul or breath left in a vessel. And then literally all will be an illusion in a box, which is actually already now. I mean, like I said, it's not to say, oh, this is bad, oh, point finger to someone. No, I just said, live. If your soul matters, you try to breathe and live the reverse way, or the way of the original memory before the fracture of that memory. Because like I said, there are tons of things in the world and inventions, and everything you see around you is also part of it. But how could I say this? I mean, it doesn't really matter how I say it. It must be felt. And again, nothing new is under the sun. Don't believe everything that is fed in the box. You have a soul, you have a mind, you have a memory, you have a will. You breathe, you discern, and then you act. Don't just act without your own will and memory and breath. I know the system is designed like this, to act like this, because it is inverted itself. So the minds that are in it are inverted too. And it doesn't matter if you have a lot money or less money. If you have money, you use that to keep others in the loop. Like I said, it's just how the mind works now. And even computer chips, even cars, everything is basically an inversion of the original fracture of memory. But it is not bad. It is a cycle within a cycle within a cycle, which is unfolding. And it is unfolding because we are breathing into a field, and that field receives it, and that field, that's why it's important that you breathe without inversion, because what you breathe into that field will be transferred into future vessels, and those vessels will not be easily, I would say, it doesn't really matter. Those vessels will then have the rhythm in their soul and act uninverted. basically. Uh, like I said, it's not really to point fingers or hate, or I just transmit what's on my mind and maybe spark a thought why things are how they are, and maybe how people feel how they feel. And like I said, it doesn't really matter if you have a high status, low. This doesn't really matter, but I mean, this is what this is basically: a fracture of memory, which unfolds by your breath and how you act and what you do, and the collective mind. The collective mind is forgetting why we are here and why we are doing things, while right now all is based on fast things and mimicry, and I would say illusion, because it is not true. The laws are not designed for the soul. The buildings are not designed also for, I mean, everything is not really designed for your soul, and all is just keeping the soul under pressure and thinking of things that are actually unimportant. Paying an imaginary number on a paper is not really important, but that's where we are, and that is just a cycle within a cycle within a cycle within a cycle. But again, you have the chance to reverse it and breathe, discern, act, and don't feed into the inversion. Yeah, I mean, at that point I'm also repeating myself, but again, you always have the chance to return to stillness, breathe, and the field receives, and it means more than you know. And a lot of people who are doing this, they are unknown, they are not out there, because if you do a good thing, you don't need to showcase it. What is really important is felt, it is not seen. Like the, I know, whatever, like the wind. You see, you don't see it, but you feel it and you live off of it. It's really that simple, but most people forget this. They think about many, many other things instead of breathing. It is really simple. You wanna invest, breathe, be calm, don't get your emotions involved in all the news out there. Think what you wanna do, breathe, act. Same in training. There are thousands of people out there claiming something. They don't have your body. You have your body. You know what works, or you will find out what works, and you will find it out faster or maybe slower. It doesn't even matter if it's faster or slower. You will find out if you breathe, if you feel, and act, and combine those three things, and that's it. Because like I said, the collective mind is forgetting, some remember, and that's it. It's just a cycle within much bigger cycles that are unfolding and folding back. All starts with your breath and ends with your breath. Not only, I mean, your life also. You breathe your first breath in, and the last thing will be the breath, and then it is gone somewhere. But within the first and the last, there are still many, many breaths in between before your vessel dissolves some day. And within that time, I mean, that's why time only exists, but within this field, but within that time, cycles within cycles within cycles within cycles within cycles of breath, and what you do when you breathe, this unfolds in the field. That is it. All right, bye.